Let's shift to Myanmar. It's been 12 days since the coup and our fears are coming true. China has entered the picture. Chinese planes have landed in Myanmar. The Myanmar army says the planes carry only goods. The protesters say they're laden with arms and carry technicians from China. Thousands of people gathered outside the Chinese embassy to register their protest, armed with megaphones and placards. One banner read, "China, you'll be the culprit if we lose our freedom of speech." Another said, "Stop sucking the blood of the country by supporting a dictator." So what exactly is China up to? How much influence does Beijing wield in Myanmar? And how exactly is the world responding to all of this? Here's a report.
China! Shame on you! China! Shame on you! China! Shame on you! China! Shame on you!
The protests in Myanmar have reached the Chinese embassy. Women, men and children, they're all accusing Beijing of supporting the military junta.
We are upset we can't celebrate our Lunar New Year. We are protesting in front of the Chinese embassy instead of celebrating our New Year at home. I want to tell the Chinese government, please stay away from Myanmar, and shame on you, China.
I'm protesting in front of the Chinese embassy because the Chinese regime is supporting the Myanmar military government. I want to ask China not to support the army generals.
The protests have escalated ever since news emerged that Chinese planes landed in Yangon. Reports indicate the planes carried technicians and kits that will help the army firewall social media. But the Chinese embassy says the planes were only carrying seafood.
There are false news and rumors about China on the issue of Myanmar. Please do not believe these untrue claims easily.
China's claims do not have many takers in Myanmar. After all, it is the biggest exporter of weapons to Myanmar. And Myanmar is China's third largest weapons market in Asia. Since 2013, Yangon has procured 68% of its arms from Beijing. That is about $720 million worth of imports. The items include 17 JF-17 aircraft, 12 Chinese Rainbow UAVs, 2 Type 43 frigates and 76 Type 92 armoured vehicles. Besides providing military hardware, China also has a long history of arming terror groups in Myanmar. In November 2019, the Myanmar army busted a huge cache of weapons from an insurgent group. Most of the weapons seized were Chinese. Then in June 2020, the Thai military seized Chinese-made weapons along Myanmar's border. Most of them were supposed to go to the Arakan Army, an insurgent group which operates in Myanmar. China's influence in Myanmar spreads far and wide. But the world is not paying much attention to this reality. Instead of holding a dialogue with the army generals, the Biden administration has imposed sanctions on the military dispensation.
We will identify at first round of targets this week, and we're also going to impose strong exports controls. We're freezing U.S. assets that benefit the Burmese government while maintaining our support for health care, civil society groups, and other areas that benefit the people of Burma directly.
Will the sanctions work, or will they push Myanmar further into China's lap? It's a question the world needs to think hard about before taking action on Myanmar. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.